deviating too much from the topic, on January 31st this year, I got raided by Old Bridge Police and State Police of New Jersey. Um, at 4:10 in the morning, they knocked my door with rifles. About 30 people came into my house with myself, my wife, and my children here, you know, and they just did whatever they wanted to do, you know. Um, luckily for me, and a testament to what we've been doing in the temple, I immediately went on work mode. I started remembering everything that the Grand Sheik has been teaching us, mentoring us through all these legal processes, and I stayed firm because you know I wasn't doing anything. I was actually getting ready to go to work. Long story short, they did everything they were gonna do. They flipped the house upside down. They completely destroyed it inside. Looked everywhere, didn't find anything. Um, I got taken to county jail. Um, I spent 3 days in county jail for that until that Friday. That was when the arrest happened on a Wednesday. That Friday, I got released. Immediately called the Grand Sheik and I let him know exactly what happens. From there, he formulated a plan of attack. Reassured me that everything was going to be fine, that everything was going to be well, that it was nothing to be stressing about. Um, then from there, my I got the paperwork because they didn't leave me any paperwork. They didn't even have a search warrant, the day of the arrest. So later on, I got all the paperwork, sent it to the Grand Sheik. He studied it, and pretty much it was just a real simple challenge jurisdiction for lack of subject matter and lack of plaintiff. Lack of standing because there wasn't a plaintiff. With suffered damages, and it was a violation of my Fourth Amendment right. And we just went on the attack. On we sent my special appearance March the 4th. It was a week and a half or 2 weeks right before my first court date. We sent the certified mail to the prosecutor and to the clerk of the court. I went in. This is my first appearance. I was nervous as all heck, and I started my meditation. I started praying right then and there. I put my head up high, and when they called me last. When they called me, they didn't even allow me to speak. I stated I'm here on special appearance, as an authorized representative for the trust named defendant, and from there they just shut me down. They didn't ask me any questions. They didn't answer any questions. They didn't ask me any questions. They didn't allow me to even make questions. They adjourned the case to April, and then I can't remember the day. April 19th, I think it was. Then from there, my next court date was in April. I went in. I made my appearance again, my special appearance. They changed the prosecutor. They had no paperwork ready for me. I made my appearance. The judge was asking the prosecutor what they're going to do. They shuffle some papers. They say, "Oh, judge, we're not ready for this. Can we adjourn?" So then they made my court appearance for July 15th, 3 days after my birthday. I'm like, okay, I'm telling the Grand Sheik, this is what's happening. They're giving me the runaround now. And Grand Sheik, I remember to this day, and I'm sure you remember it as well. Grand Sheik said to me, "Listen, they're just playing with you. They're trying to play mind games so that way you can psych out and cave in. Do not allow them to disturb your peace. immediately things started clicking. And right around that time, that's when we were studying jurisdiction. So the first chapter, we've been studying, but not with the business law book. The first chapter, I read it and I understood it, but it wasn't until Grand Sheik started giving the classes and started breaking down, and we started doing the homework and the definitions that things really didn't take shape. Until then, I didn't understand any of it. You know, once we read the first chapter and we flew right by that one. The first and the second chapter, wait a minute, there's an order of things. There is a procedure that needs to be followed, and they're not following the procedure. And any deviation from that is subject to a dismissal right away. So not only did they violate my due process, they violated my Fourth Amendment. Now they're negating me having my due process of law, facing my accuser. you know and then from there, things just started like falling into place one by one. I'm like, oh my god, these people are really like, there's no justice here. There's no actual honor in law. These people are just trying to get anybody they can behind bars. They came into my house, they violated the sanctity of my house, they violated my privacy, without, just because they didn't they thought they were going to find something that they didn't find. Now, mind you, I have guns, and they took all my guns, they took my property, and they just, without any compensation whatsoever, they just took whatever they wanted and had their way with me in my home. So that in itself, right then and there, gave me the courage to remember, wait a minute, you know, I'm one of Father Garala's son. I have to put my faith in him. I'm going to stand on my square and put my head, hold my head very high. So July 15 comes around. They leave me again. They leave me for last, and they at the end of that day, the judge, they didn't call my name. The judge said to the court, "Is there anybody that I didn't call for this round?" And I said, "Yeah." I stood up and I said, you did not call my name." He looked at me, knew exactly who I was, just so you know that they go in there and they know exactly who you are and they already have a script. And he said to me, "Mr. Murray, your case has been remanded to another judge. Huh? And we're going to submit this to a grand jury." As soon as I got out of there, I immediately called the Grand Sheik, and I told him, "Listen, this is what they're saying right now." He said to me, "Did they put it in writing?" And I'm like, "What? No, they didn't." So they can say whatever they want. If it's not on black and white, it does not count. It goes to show the psych game that they play with you. So, and if you allow them to cloud your judgment, to confuse your mind, you will be had too. So, long story short, Grand Sheik suggested for me to submit a motion for discovery. I sent that on July 16th to the prosecutor, certified, and to the clerk of the court. Since then, I have not heard one thing from them. Today is October 25th, 2024. Last time I heard from them was back when I was in court. Today, I'm resting, sleeping. My wife calls me up, tells me, "Hey, listen, you got a letter from the prosecutor." That's it. They don't make any big fuss about it because they don't want to make it obvious that this is all just a big fraud, and that they're waiting for people to just bite. That's all it is. So that is my testimony. That is my experience. I hope that whatever I've said can you guys can what's the word? Can see yourself, if you've gone through a situation like this and, reflect on it. And I hope it helps you to understand what we are up against. Thank you for your time. I appreciate allowing me to speak. And lastly, I have to give praises to all Father God Allah, Islam, peace and love.
Peace.
Islam. Islam.